Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the franchise discussion category. This video will be dedicated to the recap and thoughts for issue 20 of the Young Justice tie-in comics, Players Chapter 1. We begin this issue at Mount Justice on December 1st, where Zatanna wishes Robin a happy birthday and gives him a kiss on the cheek. Robin appreciates Zatanna wishing him a happy birthday, but he can't help but wonder how Zatanna knows that December 1st is his birthday. And Kid Flash appears and he says, "You're welcome," to Robin. The next scene takes us to Bloodhaven. It is December 1st, but it's 5 years later. Nightwing, in his civilian clothes, receives a video call from Kid Flash and Artemis, who wanted to wish him happy birthday. Nightwing, however, quickly ends the call once Bet Kane enters the room, but Kid Flash and Artemis both see Bet before the call ends, and Artemis in particular recognizes Bet. We soon find out that Bet actually doesn't know Nightwing's civilian name, and she doesn't recognize Nightwing, although Nightwing quickly clarifies that they actually do know each other. They both attended Gotham Academy, and Bet also sees a Gotham Academy yearbook shortly after Nightwing mentions this to her. She also overheard Nightwing receiving birthday wishes from Kid Flash and Artemis, and so she wishes Nightwing a happy birthday as well. And she also questions Nightwing how old he is now, and he answers that he's now 19 years old. Nightwing and Bet both realize that they need to both get to their, they both need to head to work now. So they say their goodbyes and they head off to their respective jobs. In Nightwing's case, of course, that's leading the Young Justice team. So the next scene takes us to Mount Justice, where Nightwing and many other members of the Young Justice team have gathered together within the cave. And because this is 5 years later, that means the team roster has expanded significantly. Soon enough, Zatanna and Rocket enter the cave through Zeta Beam technology, and they both wanted to wish Nightwing a happy birthday, and they both kiss him to go along with their wishes that he has a happy birthday. And this surprises many of the Young Justice team members. Miss Martian even covers Beast Boy's eyes. But Batgirl is notably not surprised, in contrast to her teammates. And we also find out that Nightwing and Zatanna had dated at some point during the 5-year time skip, and Nightwing and Rocket had dated. Yeah, they dated at some point during the 5-year time skip as well. And Nightwing responds that his superpower is staying friends with his exes. Zatanna and Rocket then admit that they need to head off to their first meeting as members of the Justice League. So they head off to the meeting through Zeta Beam technology. The current Robin, Tim Drake, also wishes Nightwing a happy birthday, but says he needs to return to Gotham City. And Nightwing assures the new Robin, or the current Robin, I should say, that he understands because he used to be part of the dynamic duo after all. So after Tim Drake leaves, Nightwing takes a moment, though, to talk to Superboy and Miss Martian. He wants to make sure that the two of them are still okay working together on a team because it's suggested that at this point in time, they're no longer a couple. But Superboy and Miss Martian assure Nightwing that they are responsible professionals, so they can still work together on a team even though they are no longer a couple right now. So after that's been all settled, Nightwing explains to the present members of the Young Justice team that they're going to split into two groups. So the next scene takes us to Metropolis, where one of the two groups of Young Justice team members are at the moment. So in Metropolis, Noor Harjavti, the daughter of Ruman Harjavti, the president of Korak, who appeared in the season 1 episode Agendas, she's giving a speech at a rally in Metropolis right now. And Superboy, Miss Martian, Bumblebee, Batgirl, Lagoon Boy, and Beast Boy are all present for this rally. Although Lagoon Boy is in Miss Martian's vehicle underwater right now, and Beast Boy has taken on the form of a bird. So the other members of the Young Justice team present for this rally, they're just in their civilian clothes. And Miss Martian has established the mind link so that they can all keep in contact in case they need to act. And we find out that Noor's father had apparently been killed sometime during the 5-year time skip. And her uncle, Sumain, is currently in charge of, is the current president of Korak. But Noor mentions in this rally that she tries to tell everyone at the rally that her uncle is actually affiliated with Bialia, saying that there is a Bialian puppet regime that's controlling Korak, and she wants to encourage or to promote help. Wants to promote democracy and freedom for Korak. That's why she's giving a speech at this rally. But the reason why the Young Justice team members are here is because they suspect that Queen Bee will send one of her minions to try and silence Nuge, however, in whatever way that they can silence her. But then we cut back in time. We go back in time 5 years ago, and we're in Korak, where Garfield Logan, Beast Boy before he became Beast Boy, is watching the news where Ruman Harjavti is holding a press conference about it turns out that he's going to be impeached, and he's trying to encourage the citizens of Korak not to impeach him. But then Marie Logan, Garfield's mother, lets him know that Superboy and Miss Martian have arrived. So Garfield heads out to meet Superboy and Miss Martian. We then go back forward in time 5 years later, and we're in El Paso now, where Nightwing, Wonder Girl, and Sphere in supercycle mode are flying through El Paso. And this is the other group of team members, the second of the two groups. And we find out that for this particular mission, they're trying to recruit a new member for the Young Justice team. Nightwing explains, Wonder Girl admits that she's really excited to join Nightwing on this particular mission. And Nightwing says that her excitement is very understandable, recalling his own excitement back when the Young Justice team was first formed. And he explains that at this point in time, Wonder Girl is the Young Justice team's most recent member, and he believes the fact that she is the most recent member of the team will be very helpful in order to convince a young hero to join the Young Justice team. That young hero in question is none other than Blue Beetle. Back in Metropolis, Superboy and Miss Martian and the other Young Justice team members, for that matter, that are present in Metropolis, they're continuing to keep their eyes peeled as Noor Harjavti continues to give her speech for the rally. We go back in time 5 years ago, and we're back in Korak, where Garfield and Miss Martian, who's taken on her human civilian appearance, Miss Martian is answering Garfield's questions about some of the abilities that Martians possess, and Miss Martian is explaining how her uncle, Martian Manhunter, is helping to train her with some of the more advanced Martian abilities. Superboy arrives, and he's picked some flowers, and he wanted to give Miss Martian these flowers. Garfield quickly lets Superboy know that the flowers he's holding is actually a type of poisonous plant. And while he's confident that Superboy and Miss Martian won't have to worry about any harmful effects from the poisonous plant, he does say that it would be a good idea for Superboy to wash his hands before he shakes hands with any ordinary Earthlings or ordinary humans. And Superboy's a little frustrated that he couldn't find that he ended up picking a poisonous plant instead. But Miss Martian tries to assure him that it's the thought that counts. Soon enough, though, they see that two individuals from the Daily Planet have actually arrived. They're none other than Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen. And so Marie introduces Miss Martian as her daughter, and of course Superboy, Connor Kent, is introduced as Megan, Miss Martian's boyfriend. And Clark Kent explains that he and Jimmy Olsen are here in Korak for two reasons. One is that Clark Kent wanted to interview Marie Logan about the work she does for her animal sanctuary, but they're also here regarding Korak's president's impending impeachment, and Clark acts very friendly around Connor, and he's very friendly around Connor, and he's pretty excited when he finds out, or Connor and Megan explain to him that they're here also regarding the impending impeachment. They say that their civics teacher, Lucas Carr, will give extra credit to any students that are able to present a first-hand report, and Clark says that's very exciting. He never got that opportunity back when he was younger, and he actually offers to take Connor and Megan to the capital of Korak, since they're going to go there as well. But Clark responds, while Clark thanks him for the offer, Connor, that's right, yeah. Connor thanks Clark for the offer, but says that they do have their own ride to get there. So Clark says that maybe they'll cross paths again when they're all there. So Clark and Jimmy leave, and we go forward in time, 5 years later on. So we're back in Metropolis at the rally, and Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen have arrived, and Clark lets Connor know that they've arrived, and Clark admits that he requested to take part in this particular, or he requested to report this particular event. So then we head to El Paso, where Nightwing and Wonder Girl in civilian clothes they're on the roof of the high school that Blue Beetle Jaime Reyes attends, and Wonder Girl questions Nightwing about what they know about Blue Beetle, and Nightwing admits that they know a lot, but not enough at the same time. Nightwing explains that they do know Blue Beetle is really Jaime Reyes, and it turns out Captain Atom, Peacemaker, and one of the Green Lanterns, Guy Gardner to be more specific, have encountered Jaime Reyes before, and they all think he's a good kid. And Wonder Girl is surprised that even Guy Gardner apparently likes Jaime Reyes, because she says that Guy Gardner doesn't like anyone. And Nightwing also explains that they know that Jaime Reyes doesn't have a connection to Ted Kord, the previous Blue Beetle, but Jaime Reyes happened to be within the area when Ted Kord had died, and when the Scarab, which they believe to be Ted Kord's greatest invention at this point in time, the Scarab ended up with Jaime Reyes because Jaime Reyes happened to be in the right place at the wrong time, as Nightwing puts it. And while Blue Beetle has been trying to do hero work, Nightwing notes that this Blue Beetle, doesn't have any mentors or any formal training, so that's why they're hoping to recruit him to join the Young Justice team. Jaime Reyes arrives at the school, although he's late, and that's when Nightwing and Wonder Girl introduce themselves to Jaime Reyes. They admit that they know about Blue Beetle, and they try to assure him that they come to him as friends. So back in Metropolis, Jimmy Olsen talks with Connor and Megan, remembering them from when they crossed paths in Karak 5 years ago. And mentally, Miss Martian connects Superman to the mental link as well, so that he's on the same page as them. And Superman tells them that he noticed a villain, Devastation, is present at the rally, and Devastation is associated with Queen Bee. So Clark tells Jimmy that he's going to try and get a statement from the mayor, when in actuality Clark is switched into his Superman identity. But before anyone can do anything, Devastation, Superman, and Superboy suddenly disappear in a flash of light with no explanation. Next up, we're on a spacecraft that's still in space, and a being known as Orb 1 has contacted someone known as the Collector of Worlds, and informs the Collector of Worlds that a retrieval process has been successful, and that the Collector of Worlds' patience has paid off, and so the Collector of Worlds can now proceed with what he wants to do. We do get a look at the Collector of Worlds, and that's how we end this issue. So this is part 1 of a 6-part storyline. So the last story in the tie-in comics, at least so far as of the recording of this video, is a 6-part story. And the majority of this story takes place a month before Season 2's formal beginning, because Season 2 formally starts on New Year's Day. Now, here's a detail Although, oh, that's right. Yeah, I should mention this. While it mostly is set the month before season 2 starts, we do get some scenes that take place in during the events of season 1. Now, within the tie-in comics, the timestamps refer to the years as Team Year 0 and Team Year 5, as in the years ever since the Young Justice team was established. Now, people have wondered, when is Young Justice set in, and Greg Weisman had mentioned that it kind of is a interesting situation, actually. Greg Weisman mentions that while he doesn't view Young Justice, the TV series, and the tie-in comics and the video games for that matter, while he doesn't view the Earth 16 universe as having a canon year, at the same time, Greg Weisman did make a point to mention that when they were making the timeline for season 1, they based the days and the months off of the 2010 calendar. So he admits that while he doesn't view the Earth 16 universe as having a canon year, at the same time, for the purposes of the timeline that the crew members have constructed to keep all the major events in the Earth 16 universe, to keep that all straight so that they know when certain events happen, they do set it in 2010. So it's kind of or the season 1 in 2010. So it's kind of a yes and no situation. It's like he doesn't view the series as having a canon year, but at the same time, for the purposes of the timeline that the crew have constructed, they do use 2010 as the year that season 1 takes place in. So, and the Young Justice wiki also follows along with that, and most fans, if not all fans for that matter. So for simplicity's sake, they pretty much do agree that 2010 is considered the year that season 1 takes place in, and then Team Year 5 would be the year 2015. So that's just the quick explanation for anyone that wanted to know when Young Justice takes place. It's like, so to clarify again, Greg Weisman doesn't think of it as having an exact or having a canon year, but at the same time, they do use 2010 for season 1 for the sake of timeline purposes. So there you go. And otherwise, we do find out that December 1st is Nightwing, the first Robin's birthday in the Earth 16 universe. We also get to see the scene that Beast Boy brought up in the second episode of season 2, Earthlings. And we do find out that Clark Kent and Connor Kent, Superboy, have crossed paths. And Clark does seem to act a bit nicer to Connor here compared to what we saw in the episode Schooled and other season 1 episodes. And we'll learn a little more about that in the other parts, so we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. And otherwise, as far as other major details go, we have... we do find out that Wonder Girl at this point in time is the most recent member of the Young Justice team, but this 6-part story also reveals how Blue Beetle joined the Young Justice team. And we do meet a new villain, the Collector of Worlds. And to clarify for anyone, it wasn't said in universe, but in real life, Greg Weisman has confirmed that, yes, the Collector of Worlds is Brainiac. So Brainiac does appear in the Earth 16 universe, but he mostly goes by the title of the Collector of Worlds, but it is Brainiac. So we'll see more of Brainiac throughout the other parts of this 6-parter. So I think that's about it for now. Like I said, this is just like a quick introduction for this 6-part storyline, and there's going to be a lot of material to cover. So we'll cover that in the other 5 videos dedicated to the recap and thoughts for the other parts of this story. So you'll have that to look forward to when those other videos are posted onto the channel. But for now, there we go. As of this video, we've now discussed issue 20 of the Young Justice tie-in comics on this channel. Take care, and until next time.